It's time for children's story. It's time for children's story. Let's give God all the glory. It's time for children's story. We come to sit and listen and hear a Bible lesson. Let's give God all the glory. It's time for children's story. Come and listen, come and listen, come and listen. It's time for children's story. Come and listen, come and listen, come and listen. It's time for children's story.
Hello, everyone. Again, today I am going to talk about discipleship, which is the theme for the month. I hope that we are all doing well. Happy Sabbath. Today I want us to talk about who are Christ's initial disciples. I know you and I are his disciples because he has called us to work for him. But can you name for me some of them? I know there were 12. I wish I was there to give you this story in person, because then I would hear answers coming from all over, in front of the church. But yes, we had Peter, whose name was Simon. He had a brother called Andrew, like my beautiful, awesome nephew called Andrew. And then we had James, and James had a brother called John. And then we had another James. The Bible say he is James, the son of Alphaeus. And then we had Matthew, who was a tax collector. We had Bartholomew. We had Thomas. We had Judas Iscariot, who ended up betraying Jesus. We had another one called Thaddeus. In my native language, we would even call Thaddeus. And then who did I not mention? Philip. Yes. So there are 12. But I wanted us to talk about the first 4. Simon, who was also called Peter, his brother Andrew, and then John and James, his brother. And John and James were called the son of Zebedee. Okay, why do I want to talk about these 4? Because the Bible tells us how Jesus found them. In the book of Matthew, can you go get your Bibles, please? In the book of Matthew, chapter 4, verses 18 to 22. Those are 4 verses, and I think I can read them real fast. And it says, "And Jesus, walking by the Sea of Galilee, saw 2 brothers, Simon, who was also called Peter, and Andrew, his brother. They were casting nets into the sea because they were fishermen. And then he said to them, 'Follow me, and I will make you fishers of men.' They immediately left their nets and followed Jesus. And then they were walking down along the shores, and there they find another set of 2 brothers. One was called James, another one was called John, the sons of Zebedee. And he called them, and immediately they left the boat and their father, who apparently was with them, and they followed Jesus. Why do I want to talk about them? Because probably there's a reason why Jesus decided to go call upon fishermen to come work in his vineyard. A vineyard is a place, of course, where vines are grown, but we are in this world. The world is God's vineyard. He's calling us to come work for him so that we can spread the gospel. Why do you think he called fishermen? I actually haven't spent so much time with fishermen, but my mother comes from a place called Mihuru Bay, and Mihuru Bay has a lot of fishermen and women. And one thing I know, whenever we went to visit our grandma and grandpa, actually grandpa, because my grandma died when I was very, very young. I never got to really meet her, and her name was Wilkister. So I would have really loved to meet her, but I think I'll see her in heaven. Anyway, when we went to Mihuru Bay and went to the lake, we saw people with, of course, you have a boat, you have nets, and then there's some little fish, we call them sardines, omena. The omenas are only fished at night, and you must have a light, because when you have a light, the omenas see the light and they just come swarming towards the boat, and the fishermen just get them. and they go dry them and then sell them. And of course, they have money and their families can buy boga and something else that they need to eat besides the fish. So God called fishermen because fishermen are very diligent people. The ones who fishermen are will go when it's dusk and the sun is going to set, and they might even stay there till morning when the rest of us are snoring in bed. Fishermen are very, very diligent. Fishermen also they respect the sea, and I think they believe in God. Because if you don't believe in God, if you're a fisherman, oh my goodness, it takes so much faith to be a fisherman because you're going out to the lake, you're going out to the sea, the waves can be so strong and your boat might capsize. So because they are very diligent and therefore they'll be patient with people. So God is calling you and me to be patient when we are preaching the gospel, when you're in school and your friend is not having a good day. God is calling upon you to console them and tell them it will be all right. God is calling upon us to preach the gospel about his love to others. If somebody's sad, if someone's sick and they need prayer, we go and pray with them. If we see someone who's homeless and we have $5 and mommy and daddy say it's okay to give it to them, it's okay. Or if we see a family or somebody else who might need food and we have food in church, we can ask them to come to this address and give them food. So God is calling you and me to be his disciples in so many ways. But notice what these four disciples did. At some point, God calls us to leave alone our nets. He calls us to leave alone our boats and just follow him by faith, because now he will give us the food that we need, or he will give us maybe it's a car that we will need to go spread the gospel. God tells us, okay, just leave that baggage behind and trust me, and I will give you what it takes to be my disciple. Thank you. That's the lesson I have for us today. May God bless you. Thank you.